Hey, guess what? We're back. We're back. We're back. I don't know. I got to turn on my headset. It doesn't sound. There we go. Here we are. Hello. Hi. Welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, no Ricky Cash tonight. He is a little under the weather, trying to get his knees working again. But I have Jpeg, I have Bobcat in the studio. But now we are joined by our good friends over at Compassion Care Hospice. These months just go by quickly, don't they?
So fast.
Doesn't it? Nicole is with us, the Director of Marketing for Compassion Care Hospice, and two of her valued volunteers, or at least two who were silly enough to sign up to come on the air with us.
I was going to say, was I taking the second one? Or?
Exactly. That's Mike and Sepideh join us. Hey, guys, welcome to Vegas Unwrapped.
Thank you very much.
Just get right up into the mic there, and it is not a directional mic, so every time you turn away, we kind of lose you like this. So just hang in there with the mic. So welcome to the show. We appreciate you taking time. These guys got all dressed up. Volunteers getting dressed up to come on Vegas Unwrapped. Didn't you tell them we're a loose show?
They look so nice.
I know. Jeez. Yeah, that's true. YouTube. That's right. Make sure you just get them from the desk up.
Yes,
the
please.
fact that they're wearing nothing underneath shouldn't be a factor on YouTube. You ever wonder about newscasters, right? You see them all dressy and like the ESPN anchors are always wearing jeans.
But you kind of like the judges?
Yeah.
What do they wear underneath there?
Exactly. That's right.
Flip-flops
Yeah.
and shorts.
Nobody can be like Night Court, though, right?
No.
With Judge Harry, right? Anyway. Guys, welcome to Vegas Unwrapped. It's so cool to meet. We've been talking about volunteers almost every time since you guys have been on the show with us, and we've mentioned volunteers and how the organization and the company needs volunteers.
We have. It's so important.
Tell us about the importance of volunteers to your clients.
Oh my gosh, I can't even explain how important it is just for the support of families that need extra help, for our patients that don't have any families, or for somebody that just wants another person to connect with and share time with and do activities that they enjoy. So we're constantly looking for people that are interested in helping us.
Okay, so now the question goes to you guys, okay? First of all, how long have you been volunteering for Compassion Care and working with patients?
I've been volunteering with Compassion Care for almost a year.
A year now? And Mike, how about you?
It's been about 6 months.
Okay. So why? I mean, plain and simple, why a volunteer? B, why did you choose the hospice community to get involved with as a volunteer?
Sepideh, go ahead.
Actually, the great thing is we both have a personal journey and we have a personal story that we would like to share with you. For myself, I'm from Iran and I moved to the States 10 years ago on my own. And a year ago, I had an incident that I broke my foot.
Okay.
And that caused a lot of emotional challenges for me because I couldn't move. I was stuck at home. I'm a very active person, so constantly I was working full time, going to school, and all of a sudden my life stopped. And the fact that I couldn't even do simple things in my life, I couldn't take a shower, I couldn't do my grocery shopping. And, to people, it was only a broken foot.
Right.
But for me, it was a massive challenge. I was depressed towards the very end because I didn't have that emotional support from my family. They were miles away from me. Of course, I was talking to them every day. However, I wasn't able to I wasn't getting that support. So after everything was working and I was getting back to work and things were getting better, I knew that there was a reason I experienced this journey. And I knew it in my heart. And I knew that I should have found something that I would be able to give it back to the universe and give it back to people. So I started doing a lot of researches. I tried so many different organizations. And like you mentioned, I work for Bellagio and we have the volunteer list. And I found Compassion Care. So I read about them, and the great thing, I fell in love with their vision. And basically, I would love to share their vision with you. And they believe that no one should travel the end-of-life journey without compassion, comfort, and support. And their mission is all about caring the patients, families, and also they're very strong about serving the community. So in my heart, I knew that's the place I have to be. I reached out to Mary and, I did all my drug tests and, of course, I passed. Thank God. and
For them, didn't you?
Yes.
And I guess Mary is the Director of Volunteer Services?
Correct.
Okay.
And she's amazing. I love Mary. She does a lot for for the patients and of course for the volunteers. There is no time that I can just go back to Mary and say, here's the situation with so and so patient. What can we do differently? And she's on it. I mean, she would find a way. She would go down there. She would help them, and that's why I love about like volunteering with Compassion Care, because I see the service. I work for service industry. I service people day and night, and for me, this is a place that there's no expectations. These patients, there's no money involved. There's no expectations. All they need is a smile. They need a touch, and they need a presence. And I think that's very beautiful to me, that it's basically about the connecting to people at the same time and just sharing moments. And, people say, when they're doing things, they're always asking this question, what is in it for me? And to be honest, I learned so much about life from these amazing patients. They share their life story. They teach me how to be patient. They teach me how to cope with different situations.
So you're learning as much from them
Absolutely.
as much as they're learning.
Absolutely. And I feel
you.
very lucky and fortunate that I'm living this journey with them. And I'm 100% honest with you.
Absolutely. Well, you have to have some satisfaction with that and getting something out of it for yourself as well, to devote your time, be emotionally connected with these people. And Mike, how about you?
Well, I'm a volunteer chaplain.
Okay.
And it's been kind of an ongoing process with me.
Do we have to watch what we say now?
But I was also in the Marine Corps.
Okay, never mind.
Trust me, there's nothing you can say to surprise me.
Okay. Wait till the second hour of our show.
Can I say for that one?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
About 15 years ago, I was an EMT.
Okay.
And I had seen a lot of this, in the field. I'd seen people in all kinds of different conditions. A lot of it, you don't want to see and you don't want to even recall. But it kind of started tugging at my heartstrings then about how many of these people I saw had nobody. Then about 4 years ago, my mother started passing away. And right at the last minute, the people up in Oregon, the hospice up there, were kind enough to give me a call and say, you know what, we're giving her till about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I was like, boy, how could they have it down that pat? And it was amazing that they did that, because I got to jump in the car, fly up there, get there just in time to be with her. And then that's when it really started tugging at my heart even more. And about 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called lupus.
Okay.
And I started forming all these tumors all throughout my body. And the VA was sending me through PET scans all the time to monitor the tumors. And one day they came up to me and they said, you have kidney cancer. So I went through that. And it was odd, because even though they kept saying, you're going to make it, we've caught it early enough, it's very emotional for me now.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Hospice, even though I thought it was only for people who were dying, to be honest with you. It wasn't. They helped me through so much, because I was sitting there thinking that, I'm alone and everything. You just go through a flood of emotions.
Sure.
And the VA provided somebody there to counsel me and everything else, and it was through hospice. And it was just simply amazing how much they helped me.
Right.
And after that, I started thinking, okay, maybe this has just come to full circle. And I just called up Mary one day, or sent an email into her rather, and she said, yes, we need somebody to support our other chaplains. And it's been just an exciting time ever since then, because like you said, you get out there and you see people who are in their last moments, or people who know they have nobody else around to help them.
Right.
I was sharing the other day, there was somebody who was passing away, and I just went in there and held her hand for 7 hours, because there was not another soul in her life.
Wow.
And
yet just that gesture alone made the world a difference, I'm sure.
Yeah. Technically, she wasn't aware.
Right.
But I often wonder.
I watch Long Island Medium. They are aware.
I was going to say,
They are
she
aware.
was aware.
They may not be aware on the surface, but that soul that's in there, they are aware.
I would just sit there and hold her hand, and you just get to where you feel so much compassion for them, like you said, that it's not a big deal. You kind of push yourself out of the picture.
Sure.
And when you walk away, you don't feel any pride or anything. You just feel like you helped a human being.
Right. Yeah, I got to imagine, though, it's hard to not get emotionally attached on some level, especially if it's a patient that you continue to volunteer with week after week or day after day, that when there is a turn for the worse, I got to imagine that there's a little bit of an emotional drain on your part.
Me.
Yeah.
You know, especially for the first time. And family passings aside, because that's a different level of emotion. But when you get connected to somebody after repetition, I got to imagine it takes a little bit out of you as well when they do pass.
I was last Saturday. They asked me to go out and be with the family of a patient who was getting extubated.
Okay.
And basically taken off life
Life
support.
support, right?
And I had never met this man a day in my life. But as I watched the family come in, I could just see the dynamics of the love there. And I was praying over him with the family. And I got to tell you, I very rarely have done this, but I just started crying. I mean, because you could feel the
energy.
Just the love, the
Right.
compassion. And I looked at this guy and went to myself, the first thing I thought was, wow, how amazing of a man this must have been.
Right.
To watch his entire family gather around him, nurses and everything.
Right.
And it was a privilege to be a part of that.
And that was just a one-time experience.
Yeah, the first time I'd ever met him.
Right.
And when I walked out of there, I just felt completely drained, but at the same time, I just sat there and
Fulfilled.
thought about him for days. I still think
Sure.
about him.
Sure.
Not in a bad way, but to realize what a honor it is that Compassion
Sure.
Care has given me the opportunity.
You feel you feel fulfilled
Right.
to a
Yeah.
certain extent, providing your time and services or whatever it is that you're asked to do with these patients
Absolutely.
to feel a little bit of self-fulfillment. And quite frankly, any act to help a fellow human being
Yes.
should give you that sense of fulfillment. Like the story I told about back in November on Veterans Day when I bought that former Marine who was in the Vietnam War. I just bought him a beer. He thought it was like I gave him $1 million. I bought him a beer. And just the fulfillment that I felt, and I'm not comparing it to hospice, but that sense of fulfillment when you do something for another human being is unmatched.
But you know,
Right.
what would happen if everybody did that? This morning I went to make a
Oh, you
bank
mean there'd be
deposit.
no war? Wow, what a
Sorry to show
concept.
our age.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
I slipped a simple note this morning in doing a bank deposit, just said thank you for everything you guys do.
Right.
If we all did that and volunteered in some way, shape, or form, go out there and get with a hospice, get with somebody like that. It is life-changing.
Absolutely.
It is life-changing.
All right, we're going to stop there for a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have more with Nicole and Sepideh and Mike, and we're going to find out what these guys do in real life and how they manage to find time in their busy schedule and make time for their volunteer work. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped here on VegasAllNetRadio.com. If you have any questions, our studio line is 702-483-4444. We'll be back with more right on the other side. All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, no Ricky Cash tonight, at least in body. He is here in spirit. Oh, my God. What a frightful thought that is. You realize when he goes, his spirit's going to be all around me, and I won't be able to handle it. he's just, it's crazy. But anyway, he'll be calling in probably in the second hour. We love you, partner. Just call in when you get some time. Hopefully you're feeling better. All right, we are here with Compassion Care Hospice, making their monthly visit with us. We have Nicole, the Director of Local Marketing here in Las Vegas, who we've gotten to be pretty close with, very friendly with. Samantha's usually with you when you come in. Tonight we got volunteers who, in the first the prior segment, shared the backstory, basically, on how they got involved, how they found Compassion Care. But let's face it, I mean, Mike and Sepideh have real lives outside of volunteering. So how do you guys find the time to do what you do around you? I mean, obviously working for the Bellagio as convention services manager, you're putting in 40, 50, probably 60 hours a week doing your thing.
Yes.
How do you find the time to do what you do for Compassion Care?
So I love this question because people ask me that question all the time.
I know I heard it somewhere.
I work long hours, you're right, and I go to school, I still study, I do a lot of projects, and I volunteer. And for me, working, volunteering, doing projects, it's not the chores. It's my passion. It's my life. How can I not having time for myself, for my life, for my passion?
Right.
That's
So
my
you make
answer.
the time for it
So
because it's that important.
I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go to the gym, and that 1 hour that I'm at the gym, I plan my entire day. It's very important to have a right time management, to be honest.
Sure.
And then also, your heart, as soon as your heart is in something, it just happens. It's
Right.
like a puzzle. It just happens naturally.
If I got up to go to the gym at 5 a.m., I'd be asleep right now. I don't know how people do
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Right? I don't know how people do that. I mean, I'm usually asleep by 4 in the afternoon for an hour. I don't know how they do that. Mike, how about you? I mean, you said you helped with chaplain services. That tells me you spend a lot of time doing that kind of work. How do you find the time for what you do for Compassion Care?
Well, it's kind of easy for me. I lost my job.
Oh, there you
recently.
go. He's got all kinds of time.
Wait,
You're in
please call me.
That's right. You're in transition right now between
Yes.
careers. That's
And,
all right.
You know, in all actuality, I sometimes wonder if that was just predestined for me,
Sure.
because I did that, and my first thought was, well, I can continue to look for work, but there's always that idle time while you're doing that.
Right.
So I just basically emailed every hospice there was,
Right.
and Mary answered within, I think it was 5 minutes.
Mary's awesome.
And she's amazing.
amazing.
Right.
I love
Our
her.
volunteer coordinator. And as I was doing that, she answered right away. I went through everything, and it was, the timing was just weird because Corrine, the other chaplain, she had to have surgery, and she's been down a couple months. Then the other chaplain, he was kind of, I'm not sure what happened, but he had a few family issues.
Okay.
So I started filling in for them.
Gotcha.
We have you running around all over.
I mean,
So you were as much of a blessing to Compassion Care because their other chaplains got tied up with stuff, and here you were.
yeah, I don't like to think of it like
Well,
that. I just want to be there for people.
Sure.
I try to keep the humility in check.
Yeah,
there, but
and that's okay to be humble about it. But your request to join them came at a good time for Compassion Care.
Absolutely.
So,
It was,
and that's
and
important.
they've shown their gratefulness to me many times. Somebody's always walking by and saying thank you to me
Sure.
or something like that. But it's been an amazing experience.
Now, how do you guys get your assignments? I mean, do you guys live in a certain part of town and ask for your assignments to be where you live or by where you work, or does it matter? How do you guys get your clients
Mary
to visit?
actually is really good about like assigning us me. I'm talking about myself too.
Yeah, she's talking about herself, Mike.
Yeah,
You sit
no,
over there.
I don't know where he goes or what kind of patients he visits. So she knows where I live, so
Okay.
she tries to assign patients that they're closer to my house.
Gotcha.
And of course there are times that they're just a little bit further, but like that's fine.
Okay.
We, like I said, it's
But,
your
but
heart.
they're willing to work within your parameters
Yeah,
if you give them any.
Oh, Mary's awesome.
Okay.
She makes it so easy and comfortable for us.
I was just gonna say, yeah, we try and coordinate with our patients to where they live, what's close to them,
Right.
or if there's a particular area of town that they want to go to.
Okay.
We'll work with them to make it easy because they're volunteering their time to help us.
Now, how many volunteers are on service or on call, I should say, basically?
I don't think anybody really is on call. I think right now, I want to say we have about a dozen volunteers. Like I said, I know we're always looking not only to go out and be with our patients, but we also do, as far as like the marketing department, there's events and things that we have scheduled where we could always use volunteer help. So
Okay.
if someone is interested, but maybe they're not sure they can do patient volunteering, if they're afraid that they will get attached, or it's just something that emotionally they can't do. We look for volunteers in the office, in the marketing department, all over. We need help. So
if someone wants to participate, how do they get more information? Or who do they contact?
They-
See, that's called a segue, by the way, guys. You like that?
they can call our office and ask for our marketing coordinator, who is Mary, or I'm sorry, our volunteer coordinator.
I was going to say, she just got promoted during the show.
Our number is 702-636-0200, or you can go online. It's cchlv.com.
All kinds of great information on the website. And Mike, you said something early on in the interview that we've been really dispelling for the year that we've been doing this, and that is the concept and the misconception of what hospice is all about. And I was glad to hear you say that, but how your opinion and concept of it changed going through your own needs. But we've been trying to battle that for not battle it, but let the public know that hospice is not just for those
Right.
on their last breaths. There's a lot of other needs for it.
Yeah, I mean, I see that a lot. I go out and, the amount of patients I see, I just told Mary, just send me anywhere I'm needed since I'm not,
Right.
working the hours that you are. Poor guy.
By the way, are you hiring there, Sepideh?
But I'm not going to the gym at 5.
I was going to say.
But I volunteered to just be on call whenever they needed me.
Right.
I've gone out all kinds of hours. But, the major thing to remember is that I've gone to people who were just kind of feeling lonely,
Sure.
honestly.
Sure.
And it's wonderful to be there for them.
Right.
And like you said, when you hurt your foot and everything, you don't know really what to do with yourself in those situations. And to have hospice come in, whether it be
The
a volunteer,
presence. The presence of others.
whether it be a
always help.
volunteer or whatever,
Right.
you can do so much to help them.
Right. You can't put a price tag on the human touch, whether it's emotionally or physical. I mean, just, we see things on Facebook, on social media all the time, give a hug, say hi to somebody, shake someone's hand. I saw something on Facebook about a week ago, about how we stereotype individuals. And you guys may have seen it out there, but there was this guy on the corner in New York who was stereotyped as a Muslim, but he wasn't. He just black hair, had the beard, the whole thing, put a blindfold on. And he had a sign there, he says, to show the world that we can be unbiased, just come up and give me a hug. And he was blindfolded. He didn't know who was coming up, and he just stood there for hours like this with his arms out.
He didn't get any hugs.
No, he did.
Oh,
he did. And it was the most, I don't know if you want to call it a social experiment, which I guess is really what it was, but it was impressive to see. But that need for human touch, everybody who walked away after giving him a hug, I think felt more fulfilled than he himself asking for the hug. So you can't put a price tag on human touch, whether it's emotional or physical, those in need or not in need. Even when things are going great, there's nothing wrong with someone coming up to you and patting you on the back and say, great job, how you doing today? Things are great. That's great. I just want to make sure you're okay. So you don't have to wait till you're down in the dumps or have a negative thing go on around you to have the need for that contact. And that's what I used to volunteer back in high school. I volunteered as part of a program. I was in the hospital. I worked in the ER. I worked in the psych wards, which explains a lot. But volunteering. But I mean, just that human compassion, which is why that word's in the title of this company, is so important. And we shouldn't be waiting to the end of someone's life or until someone needs it.
Yes.
Before it all comes out.
Yes.
Imagine. What did they say? An ounce of laughter is whatever, is worth something or other. I know there's a saying out there about an ounce of.
A pound of cure.
Thank you. See, I knew John would help me out.
I knew it. I was just holding
Well,
back.
I got you. I appreciate that. So get out there and do something to make a difference. I mean, that's.
Absolutely. I can honestly say I've been with Compassion Care for 4 years, and in the city of Las Vegas, I'm amazed at how many hospice agencies are out there. And I'm not just saying it because I work for the company. I would not work for any other hospice in this town. We all do the same thing. We're there to serve the community and help people, but not everybody is passionate. And I mean, it speaks in our volunteers. They don't have to do this, but they give up their own time because
Absolutely.
they're truly genuine about it, and they want to be there for people that need them. And I feel that that's what my company does. Everyone that I work with truly, genuinely cares about each and every one of our patients.
I think one of the things that has impressed me over the time that we've been working together is the difference between the in-home service and the, I'll just call it the sterile environment service of a center, of a hospital. And I don't want to mention any names because I don't feel like getting any letters from any attorneys. But we here within Vegas Unwrapped, we just lost back in December a good friend of the show, someone who we supported their nonprofit causes, and he passed away in hospice back in December. And I had gone to visit him quite often in the hospital, in the facility. And although the people were nice to him, and the people when I would just sit there while he's asleep, they would talk with me, how you know him, blah blah blah, and I would chat a little bit and play it up. But there's that difference, and I can't imagine. It's night and day. That
Right.
in-home feeling when someone's in their familiar environment.
Right.
That's got to be so much more comforting to those in their last moments of life, however long those moments are, to being in that sterile environment. And I can't stress that enough, that the in-home service, from what I've learned in the year that we've been working together, has got to be head and shoulders above that sterile environment that some of the people spend their last moments in. And I can only hope that there's if one person is listening and calls in and becomes a volunteer or makes a difference, you can make a difference. And that's what I think we're losing today. So
Absolutely.
anyway, believe it or not, you guys survived the 30 minutes. I know Sepideh was very concerned.
She told me this was going for an hour.
She was drinking heavily in the green room before coming in here, worrying about this. But you guys survived. You did great. I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing
Thank
your
you
stories.
for having us.
And hopefully we'll see you again. We're on together with these guys for another handful of months. I'm sure we'll cross paths. And I mean, there's so many more questions I could ask about some of the patients that you've met and things that maybe we'll do that another time. But I think it was important for people to realize that people with busy lives still make the time for what's important, and that's giving of their time to those in need. So, it's Nicole, always a pleasure.
Yes,
I think this is the least you've spoken in an interview because I've just kind of left it up to them.
They
So
took over the show. It's
absolutely, it's
She
about
says a loudmouth on the end.
Shut up.
tonight. It's about the volunteers, and every organization like a hospice center needs good volunteers, and it seems like if these two represent the dozen that you have, I think you're in good shape.
Absolutely. And thank you guys
Thank you.
for what
Thank
you do.
you.
CCHLV.com is the website for more information to become a volunteer or learn more about hospice. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. When we come back on the other side, Mr. Jpeg steps out from behind the camera again for doing it with Styles. It's weekly award to those who he feels deserve it. How's that for an introduction? Vegas Unwrapped will be back with more right after this. All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, no Ricky Cash till maybe the second hour on the phone.
And we've heard some of the good names that are out there. Michael Kraft.
What the hell was that?
What the? The aliens! The aliens are here!
We started the second hour a few minutes early.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for Doing It with Styles.
Colamundo.
It's time for Doing It with Style. Sponsored in part by A.A. Casaro Plumbing and Construction.
And here's the man himself, Mr. Styles. Jpeg, take it away.
That's me. Okay, every week I do a little award, and it's called Doing It with Styles. And I had, when I get to the studio, I've already got the award. I already figured out who's going to get it. And, sometimes it's a person, a place, or a thing. Sometimes it's a world leader or just somebody locally. And after this section of the show, I decided that this week it was time to change. And this week, see, I even have a little picture here, Doing It with Styles. This week, the Doing It with Styles Award is going to go to the volunteers for Compassion Care. I mean, every couple of weeks I sit here and listen to you guys talk about what you do and how you do, and it's absolutely amazing, and you really do it with Styles. So, congratulations, and I will get you an official printed out thing that you can take and put up in the nice glossy color
Very nice.
with the volunteers.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of everybody in Las Vegas, I would like to thank you for your efforts, and way to go.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well. Nicely done. Nicely done, John.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Doing It with Style. Sponsored in part by A.A. Casaro Plumbing and Construction and heard exclusively on Vegas Unwrapped.
All right. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, we'll get you some formal certificates that you guys can put up and take personally or whatever. And you know what? I mean,
As a matter of fact,
yes.
if you can provide me or email me everyone's name, all of your volunteers,
Okay.
I will have one for each one of the volunteers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome.
All right, I
Very
take back
exciting.
everything bad I said about you before the show, John.
I know.
That was very good.
Hey,
Till the end of the show.
you never know when I may need to make a phone call.
In 7 minutes, the second hour comes around. Everything's downhill in the second
Yeah.
hour, so we'll get back to normality there. No, well done. I think to recognize. I mean, most volunteers don't get the pats on the back. They just go do their thing,
Right.
And I'm sure you guys probably do your own thing to recognize the volunteers. I would think, yeah.
We do, yes.
So I mean, it's when someone outside the organization appreciates it. I think it's cool. So well done, John. I think that was a good move.
I heard there was cake.
We will, actually, I think I might be incorrect, but I think next month, March, is actually Volunteer Appreciation Month.
Cool. Oh,
I
wow.
believe-
You know,
I
that would
believe
be
so.
that would be something to cover.
So,
You have all the volunteers come in.
well, I was just going to say, I was talking to Mary. I think we're going to plan something actually for all of our
That would be
volunteers.
that would be awesome.
Let us know when that is. If we
Right.
can swing that into the schedule, at least come down and videotape.
Absolutely.
Then we'll do that.
We could do
Okay.
yeah. That would
Absolutely.
be awesome.
Okay.
Will do.
Yeah.
Excellent. 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 All right. Hour number 2 is almost